Welcome this week. I have a story. I don't know if it's a funny story, a sad story, or a bad story, but it's a good story. And this go back to November 2001. At the time, I just had a bouncing baby girl, and my wife needed a present. And the best present I'd give her at that time was a washing machine because of all the clothes that the kids have, and it's a mess to get those clothes clean. Prior to, I think, 1 month to her delivery, she had sent me a link on Instagram of someone selling washing machines at a very good price. So the typical washing machine goes for about 100K, and this guy was selling the washing machines for about 50K. So when I got some money, I decided this is the time to surprise her. So I went to the, it was called Millennium Electronics account on Instagram, and started chatting these guys up on the DM. So talking about the price, delivery, so on and so forth, and he told me everything is ready. The only thing I need to do is to pay up. So they asked for my email address, and then I received an invoice on my email address. I checked the invoice, it's okay, the invoice amount, and there was a payment to a pay bill number, which was hosted by KCB. So went ahead, made the payment, and then waited. The delivery was 24 hours. So the time started ticking. So I didn't tell my wife, so I wanted for it to be a surprise to find the washing machine when she's at home. Voila, it's delivered. So I waited for the next day. Coming from work in the evening, I realized there was no delivery. So I went back and tried chatting this company up on Instagram. There was no response. So I thought it's beyond business hours. I'll try this tomorrow again. So I tried this tomorrow in the next day in the morning. No response. I waited until evening. Again, there was no response. Then someone started scratching my head. Something is not right here. So I took the number that was there on Instagram and reached out on WhatsApp. I got blocked. I started to call. I got blocked. I went back to Instagram. I got blocked. And then my man just went like ding, 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 ding. Guess what? I've been scammed. I was about to lose my mind. I just wired 50,000 to this guy. The next day, I decided I'm going to follow this app. Then, since he deleted the DM, so I went to Instagram and then searched Millennium Electronics. Then the first thing just came to mind. I was like, whoa! There were about 6 other Millennium Electronics with Millennium Electronics KE, Millennium Electronics stores, so on and so forth, with the same logos. And when I clicked on each of them, they had almost similar variation of washing machines, TVs, radio, and home electronics. The number was the same. This guy was creating multiple pages in order to attract more losers like me. And I was like, okay, that was already a red flag. And then I went back to the invoice and I checked. So the first thing was they showed that they have a physical shop at Next Gen Mall. So jumped into the car, went to Next Gen Mall. I searched for Millennium Electronics. It did not exist. And I was like, whoa, this is just crazy. Then I was like, okay, I need to track this people down. I realized this guy picks up a camera, walks into electronic shops and takes photos and then pastes them all over or post them up on these pages that he hosts so that it can easily fool you that this is an electronic shop that exists somewhere in a mall or in a building. And I was like, whoa. The only way to seek recourse is the pay bill number. So I call up KCB customer care and I ask them, so I've made this transaction, give them the transaction code, can actually confirm the transaction. They confirmed actually the money hit the account, the pay bill account, but was withdrawn 5 minutes, all of it, after it hit the account. I was like, is there any way of reversing this transactions? So they said, unfortunately, no. And I felt very frustrated. So I asked, do you have the details of the person who, or the contacts of the number that withdrew the amount? They're like, yes, but they can't pass that number to me because that's it. I need like a police order or a court order for that to happen. Then I was like, okay. So I went back to the numbers within this page. So I collected those numbers and tried to send like 10 shillings and M-Pesa. I think there were two numbers. One had like a Paul Longolonian, some Maasai name. Another one was like a Somali name, Sophia Aden, for that. So started do my own CSI work. So searched this Sophia Aden online, nothing. No Facebook page, no nothing. Then I searched the Paul name, nothing. And I was like, this must have been smart. Probably they picked up some ID numbers that were discarded or some old person's ID and registered SIM cards with them. I was like, okay. So the next stop, the police. So went to the police station and so I remember this very well. So I got into the OB section and there was this lady and I just told her like, hey, I've been conned. I would like to put in a police request. So she started asking me, so what about the details? So I was like, okay, this guy who had a post on Instagram. I send money. How much did you send? 50,000. Then she stopped. And she was like, Yani, wewe unaweza tuma 50,000 online. You deserve to be conned. Then I was like, so I was really enraged and she's busy there getting me more enraged. Then I started to swallow it. And then I was like, okay, it's a mistake. I didn't know it. And then she recorded my statement and then I was told the case was given to a DCI guy attached to the police station. So I went again and narrated what happened, and then so he had to go and get the details of the transactions, so and so forth, and he had an incident report of sorts. So he told me to give him about 2 days, and then he called me after 2 days, and then he's like, okay, so we've gotten the number of this guy, so you can come by the station. So I came by the station and then like, see, I've gotten the number of the guy who withdrew the money. I've located him. He's in Mombasa. So, if you can facilitate the fare to Mombasa, I can go arrest him tomorrow. The first thing, I know where he is. Then something just sprung into my mind. And I was like, I'm about to be conned again. A con inside a con. Then I was like, no. I just told the police officer, I don't have any money. In fact, I just lost money. I was hoping you'd help me recover this money. Then he went quiet. A week passed by, and another week, and another week. And I was like, okay, I'm not recovering any of this cash. So then something happened. When I was reading the incident report on the one that he had, somehow I crammed the number that was recorded on the report, the person who had withdrew the money. Then I decided I'm going to do my own detective work. So I took the number and I tried to send some money over M-Pesa. Then I got a different name. Then this sounded like, now I think I have a real name. So then I took the number, the name, and started doing some Googling. And then I landed this name, I landed on Facebook. I tried to ensure that there's no any other person who has a similar name, and tracked every other information I could find whether it sounds similar to whoever I was conversing with. Voila, I found his photos, everything about him, his life, how he had grown, relatively young person. And from the multiple photos that was there, this guy was living in Kayole because all the neighborhood and most of the photos were clustered around Kayole. Then I was like, now I know where he is. I just don't know which exact place he is. And I was like, the police officer told me he was in Mombasa. So did he come back to Nairobi, or he scammed me and moved to Mombasa? I was not convinced about the Mombasa story. But now I was like, I need a way of intervening and getting this person get my money. There's nothing more I could do. After this, I tried to go to other websites like Buyer Beware and just let everyone know, have you come across this scam? I think I found one person who had gone through that. And I was just frustrated. I know how this guy looks like. I have an estimation where he lives, but I can't do anything. So the best I could do was to send this back to the police officer and hope it would change anything, but it didn't. So what I had to do? I had to stand scammed. That's my scamming story, losing 50K for that. So what would I learn out of all this? What would you learn out of all of this? I remember the very first time I took a cybersecurity course. The first lesson is that absolute security is unachievable. You can have all the technical things that you learn about, encryptions and all kind of stuff. The nicest, the smoothest, the best hacking are social hackings. You never see them coming. And you have someone who studies, instead of trying to hack your phone using some technical means, they figured out how to hack the human, right? Create an invoice. I'll trust the invoice. Make something look like a business when it's not actually a business. Talk professionally. That's like the committee scammers who do that on M-Pesa. When the deal is too good, walk away. That's the lesson for this week. Until next time, don't get scammed. Any Buddha, after kuachiva always subscribe. Apa. Baru just subscribe. Hey, and I have more videos here.